Got one more person coming.
Is everybody in there? Okay. Welcome, everyone. We are gathered here today as loved ones of people on the inside, Rush City Correctional Facility. And we are gathered here to address the ongoing fears of our loved ones inside following the death of Stephen Washington a few weeks prior. In the last 5 years, there have been 4 deaths between cellmates. 3 of those were inside Rush City. At this time, I'd like to take a moment of silence for Stephen Washington and his family. And we send our deepest condolences and prayers to the family. So, okay, so I mentioned before, the DOC has seen 4 deaths in the last 5 years by murders by cellmates. 3 of those have been at Rush City. We demand an end to double bunking and an immediate rollout of the MRRA, which became a law 2 years ago, yet has still not been implemented. We believe that had this happened, Stephen Washington would still be alive today. Next, we're going to hear from Amanda, who's going to talk about the conditions inside Rush City because the general public is clueless. And then Tanika is going to talk about some solutions. And then we'll hear from David, who is going to give us a couple quotes from inmates. Amanda?
I'm Amanda, and I'm going to discuss what families are dealing with every day. My loved one is in Rush City Correctional Facility and has revealed several critical issues requiring immediate attention. I hear things daily, threats of violence between inmates and guards due to this double bunking. There are significant health and safety risks, including the presence of black mold in shower areas and inadequate meal quality, with reports of moldy bread being served. Inmates who do not have assigned jobs are subjected to extended lockdowns, sometimes exceeding 22 hours per day. Additionally, emergency alert buttons are frequently ignored, and some inmates have been placed in units where they feel unsafe. Access to medical and dental care is severely limited, with a 4-year waiting period for dental appointments and delays of over a week for medical attention. These findings highlight the urgent need for corrective action to ensure the safety and well-being of individuals at Rush City Correctional Facility. Republicans and Democrats have expressed concerns about double bunking, yet the opportunity to do so with the MRRA release isn't being discussed. This is really stressful sitting out here wondering when I'm going to hear from my loved one, not knowing if the next call is going to be about something happening to him. This isn't how things are supposed to be. They deserve to be treated as humans and deserve to get proper care and food.
Amanda, are you still speaking?
Nope, I'm done. It's on.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Tanika?
All right. Hold on. Okay, so I'm a mother and an advocate for incarcerated loved ones. And I'm speaking out after the tragic killing of Stephen Washington. It affected me because it's just, I shouldn't have to wonder if the next phone call I'm gonna get will be the one telling me my loved one didn't make it out alive. So double bunking isn't just a housing issue; it's a gamble with human lives. Our families are paying the price every day because the DOC refuses to follow the law. So I'm calling for two immediate steps: an end to double bunking in maximum security prisons, and full implementation of the Minnesota Rehabilitation and Reinvestment Act. I believe we need to move forward towards rehabilitation, and the MRRA is supposed to move us in this direction, which is why we're demanding it be one of the steps. Behind every statistic is a real person, a son, a brother, a father, a loved one. Behind every prison wall is a family like mine, praying for safety. We're not asking for special treatment. We're demanding basic humanity and the enforcement of laws already in place. I'm done.
David?
Thank you, Ms. Tanika. Um, my name is David Banky, and I just wanted to bring some information that I've gotten from people inside Rush City about their concerns. Um, one is that with Stillwater closing, um, people who would otherwise actually have been kept in separate prisons are being put in the same units. So people who had previously been kept so far apart that they weren't in the same prison are now in the same units, or even sometimes, as we're seeing, apparently in the same cells. Also, the preferred cellie policy is set up as an incentive, so it's never used to stop these type of incompatibilities. That means that if you have an incompatibility like was expressed with Stephen Washington and all these previous murders as well, the only way you can not be in those cells is you have to go to solitary confinement. You have to refuse to lock in. And so, um, yeah, it's just horrible the way that this happens. And there's so many attacks that didn't need to happen. And there's also just an attitude in Rush City that people just need to learn to get along or just need to fight and figure it out. And that's not the type of situation our loved ones should be in. And that's not the type of situation that's going to create safety when people come home. Um, so um, just wanted to share those things. Please double bunk Rush City Prison, and please implement the MRA. Not doing so is literally killing people, and we don't need that for anyone. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And that's my kitty, Huey. Um, does the media have any questions? CCO or KSTP? No? Okay. Um, as David said, the MRRA is literally killing people because they haven't rolled it out yet. And I'd like to ask all of you, what did it feel like to hear that an inmate was murdered by their cellmate inside Rush City? Because we all remember when we heard that before any of the details came out.
It honestly made my heart sink and made me wonder what's going to be next and if it's going to be my loved one, and thinking about having to find out that information and fight the DLC to get answers is really heartbreaking and hard to digest.
Tanika?
It broke my heart. First of all, because I went to middle school with him. So my sister was friends with his sister, um, back when we was kids. So just the whole thing about it was heartbreaking because um, not only as we think they were going to be safe in prison, at least they are not on the streets, worry about anything happening to them. But now you have to worry about them in prison too, where it's supposed to be safe. They're supposed to be kept alive. That was heartbreaking and disappointing, and it was just horrible. Like I'm even going to come and tell this now because no one should have to uh, get a phone call talking about your loved one didn't make it. We were supposed to keep them safe, you know. So
I agree. Thank you for sharing that. So for me, um, it was before any of the details came out of which area it was in, but it was just that there was a murder. I had people in our group calling me frantically asking, "Oh my God, is it my loved one?" You know what I mean? They were freaking out. And so I was like scrambling to try to find out which section they were in or what area. And I'm like, well, they said they aren't releasing information because they are going to notify the family first. So then they're like, well, then does that mean that mine's okay? Because no one was able to call. I mean, it's just very panic and so now, yeah, it's totally natural that all of the inmates are freaking out and are afraid. Um, and another thing too that I've heard from my loved ones on the inside is, the preferred celly policy or whatever. They purposefully will put someone of color with a skinhead, or they'll put someone who is going to be released very, very soon, like Stephen Washington was scheduled to be released in the spring, with a lifer. You know what I mean? It's not compatible, and they do it on purpose, and it's just not okay. So they just, Commissioner Paul Schnell was he made a promise publicly that he was going to go to single bunking at the end of COVID. Well, how long ago was that? I mean, these people are incarcerated. That doesn't mean that they don't have human rights. So, are there any last words that any of you want to say before we close out?
Can I just flag KSTP? You unmuted. Did you want to say something or did you just unmute? Looks like they just unmuted. Sorry, back to you, Karen.
Oh yeah. Do any of you have any last words you'd like to say? Or if anyone wants to reiterate what are the most important solutions that we want addressed right now? Anyone? All right, I'm just gonna call on you then. Tanika. Really? David?
I was trying to fix my I was trying to fix my camera. I'm sorry about that. So we want the MRRA implemented and double bunking to be we want Paul Schnell to follow up on his promise that he said he promised to us, to the families, to the prisoners, to and like I said, we're not asking for special treatment. This is basic necessity. As you as you can see, as Karen explained earlier, that what did it say, 4 or 5 deaths just in the past few years? Like this shouldn't even happen. Our loved ones should be safe. So we want to implement the MRRA and please, the promise that Paul Schnell said about double bunking, putting the single cells, please do that. That's it. Two simple things. So our loved ones can be safe and we don't have to worry about this, especially in the state of Minnesota where we're supposed to, come on now. We're not even a red state, we're a blue state. So,
And I would just add that moving to single bunking in Rush City is not just good for incarcerated people and their loved ones, so that we know that we're not just going to hear some terrible news every day, but it's also something that's really supported by staff in these facilities. They don't want people living on top of each other either, and they know what happens when you do that, and it puts them at risk. So everyone who's living and working in Rush City really would benefit from that, and it's a really important step. And I'll pass to Amanda if she has anything last to say.
It's just like everyone's already said, our loved ones deserve to be treated like humans. They deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. There's no reason to be giving them spoiled food and denying medical when that's something that is needed for sure. And safety concerns should really be addressed so more issues do not arise regarding that. or severe injuries even.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. These are powerful words from all of us who have loved ones in Rush City. This needs to change. End double bunking in Rush City. Let our people home. And we should not be hearing of any more murders between people living in the same cells in the Minnesota Department of Corrections. Thank y'all so much.